Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of our program, The Platform, this special edition of our program. And on our program we're going to talk about some community events, some community organizations in our country and people who are involved in them, doing some wonderful things for after-school programs for children and other events, other happenings in our community. And there's an organization called the Humanity United Global Project, and representatives of that project are here today. They are accompanying the great one, BIANCA NYGARD, who is here every week with me, bringing these wonderful guests. And today she has with her Jermaine Davis, who is the chairman of the Humanity United Global Project, and Mrs. Regina Adderley, who is the vice chair of that organization, and she is from the Kemp Road area, and Mr. Floyd Saunders, who is the vice chairman. He is from Elizabeth Estates. He tells me he has a nickname, and we are going to find what that is in a minute. Bianca, good to see you.
It's so nice to be here again, and it's wonderful to meet people that we have on the show today that volunteer their time and start up these projects.
Yes. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Same to you, my dear.
You're from Elizabeth Estates?
No, I'm from Freetown, Camp Road.
From Freetown, Camp Road. Elizabeth Estates is Mr. Adderley, right?
Sanders.
Mr. Saunders. Mr. Saunders. Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, Jermaine Davis, tell us about the organization, what it's about.
The organization deals with community initiatives, and it comes back social ills. One of the ills which we realize is the literacy. We graduate D-, D+ society for such a long time, decades. So in Camp Road, we had formed an after-school program with kids from grade 1 to 12. It was free. We offer courses like sewing classes, athletic classes, drama classes, driver's ed classes, math, English, language classes, and also some technical trade. With these classes, we try to network with corporate society to see if in the after school, if they can hire some students or summertime to try to create employment for them. A lot of them come from struggling background where it's hereditary, where we see the poverty. And so what we try to do is eradicate it using humanity as a platform to tackle the social ills in which I just alluded to. Other than that, we also deal with any national matters within the community, such as when there were house burning in Gambia and Camp Road. We also use our platform to raise funds and to rebuild lives and giving them the tools to get back in society. So we just not focus on an after-school program. Anything that happens in the community, even if individuals are incarcerated, we try to put a mechanism in place and committee to deal with the whole man. And we also try to give an opportunity to kids in these communities beyond the community boundaries, and where they can be also self-sufficient and they can see life different than being employed, but being an employer, to be an entrepreneur. So the program is vital to our nation existence, and it's also essential in terms of national development. And that's really a nutshell of humanity. It was formed in the backyard of Elizabeth Estate in 2012 with several young men like myself. We cut on the radio and we heard all the nonsense. And so instead of rebuttaling it just with verbal language, we said, how could we offer ourselves and to something bigger than ourselves? And humanity was born then.
Good.
And we end up in 5 communities.
5 communities?
Yes.
And what are those 5?
Elizabeth Estate was the first one, and then we headed to Gambia. Then from Gambia, we end up in Camp Road. From Camp Road, we end up in East Street, Carmichael.
Have you been seeing a whole lot of people supporting this organization?
Totally. This organization is really an emblem which the people in the community can do without government affairs and assistance. Even though we seeked it from 2012 to the present tense, We never ever got government grant, government assistance, but all the officials will come to all our functions, take part in photo op opportunities, but no commitments. So they recognize our existence. They've been a part and so 1,000 showed up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, where we have a week worth of activities in Camp Road community.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, where we had Mr. T, Craig Flowers, all those were honoring Mr. T just 3 years ago in December in Camp Road. And we never ended well until 2:30 in the morning. Craig Flowers, Mr. T, Loretta Butler, Richard Lightburn, all of them were leaving there. So that's what we do. The nation is known not by the man it produces, but by the man it honors. And so we go in our community and we honor unsung heroes also.
You're the vice chair, Mrs. Adley.
Yeah, each area has a vice chair.
Oh, vice chair,
Yes.
okay. And tell me about the involvement of the people of Camp Road, and how did you get involved?
Well, good afternoon to the nation. I was involved in the rebuilding of the communities from I was about 10 years old.
From 10 years old?
When I was about 10 years old, I get out in my community, works in my community, and try to assist wherever I can. But coming on to about maybe three years ago now, I've come in contact with Mr. Jermaine Davis, a young man just walking through the community, trying to find people in the community to come out and assist them with the community. So I agreed to keep him on board with him, and from coming on board with him, we combat social ills in the community and also take care, like he said, the afternoon classes with the children. I'm more focused on the afternoon classes with the children, where I'm the teacher for the cooking area, and I also are responsible for the feeding of them, where I cook to feed them. When they go into school in the mornings, they stop to get breakfast. When they come from school in the evening, they come back to the classes. We help them with their homeworks and also feed them to make sure that when they go home in the evening, they have something in their stomach to eat.
Where do you do this?
Well, at the present time, we are on Camp Road and located in building number 113 or 311, backward or forward. We are located in there to that building, where we are now in the process of renovating and doing some works in the building, and also trying to get the community to really come together, that we all will be able to be one and be our brothers keepers.
So this is a community center?
Yes, it will be a community center.
So right now, what is it?
Right now, we are in the process of renovating the building.
Okay.
We had a building in Camp Road where we were located, but on the circumstances, that building was used by another party, and so we had to find a different location.
Okay, interesting.
But I thank God, to God be the glory, we found one.
Good. Mr. Saunders,
Yes, sir.
what's your nickname?
Off the wall.
Off the Wall. Where you get that name from?
A referee gave me that
A
name.
referee?
Yes.
Doing what? What in a particular sport?
Basketball.
Basketball?
At the AFL Legion.
Yes.
Mr. Kendall Taylor, he saw me throw the ball off the wall numerous times. So every time he came to referee a game and he saw me, he would shout out the name. It began to take shape and form. And then I perfected the slam dunk involved with the name. So over a period of time and years at the U Campbell and at various different night league games, I would continue to do the same dunk over and over. So therefore the name was created.
The name created Off the Wall. So I suspect you were involved in sports and teaching young people some sporting skills, eh?
Yes, basketball skill. I developed golfing skill while I lived in Canada for a period of 8 years. So I have golf skills, basketball skills. We grew up with softball, volleyball, most of the sports I have perfected. Now we want to perfect life and the development of life, the creation of life, the preservation of life. Through this organization, we feel we can do wondrous things in the community.
And you operating from Elizabeth Estates?
There and Camp Road.
And Camp Road. Interesting.
Yes, it's so wonderful that all these people came together excuse me, and are helping everybody out of their own pocket, you know, and just from their own time and coming up with this plan, and it really touches my heart. I was asking Jermaine Davis how he's getting funding for this, and he said it's from himself. And I said, well, how much are you looking for? And he said, well, only about $700 a month. Can you imagine? I said, how many people are in your organization? He said, I have close to 200. I have 198. And he said $700 a month would pay the rent of this building. And he can't get this funding. And I just thought that was incredible. So I said, you know, it would be wonderful for you to come on the show, because it's easy for people to give $25, $50, something like this, and everybody come together to get this easy $700 a month. And they're just doing phenomenal things. They're taking out children on the weekends. And but I heard a wonderful story of that they went to the old folks senior citizen home, and they painted the walls, and they helped build up their facilities there, and then spent time with the elderly people there, and all the children in the community got a lot out of it, as well as the elderly that was staying there. So it's just so touching to me that it's like one nice gesture just passes on, it keeps passing on, you know, and the fact that a young man would start this organization in 2012 and just say, let's change things instead of complain about things.
So in terms of the number of people involved, she mentioned 200. 200 totally in all of the areas. You have about 5 areas that you cover now?
There's about 200 kids in the
200
after-school
kids.
program.
Okay.
But beyond the program, we have about 4,000 plus that support this.
4,000
Yes, that
children?
support this. Not children, but like I said, we cater to the
4,000
seniors and
individuals.
individuals, right. Now, the pundits, the critics, the skeptics might ask, what's the importance of humanity? Starting the after-school program in Camp Road, I've learned that it was divided, and the division starts from the light in the middle of Camp Road. So we had kids from D.W. Davis, Doris Johnson, L.W. Young, C.I. Gibson, Uriah McVie, all encompassed under one roof. And a lot of them in the senior high school went to the same school, but never communicated or dialogued with each other. And the program after school, which we launched, brought a relationship beyond which the community could have given. And through that, they slowly, because they used to say when they got home, they never crossed the light. So if you lived the front, you never crossed the light heading in the back. And if you lived in the back, you hardly crossed the light heading in the front. The program allowed them to cross the light and develop new relationship. So I saw it as vital to combat the criminality or the crime on the street where nobody gives it an attention. And so this program keeps people and the kids from being idle, give them a focus of more than themselves, but something bigger than themselves, and also provide unification when trying to network with an individual or others. So
When you say crossing the light, you're talking about the traffic light at Chesapeake?
Yes, that's correct.
And so people who live north of the light didn't mix with the people who live south of the light?
Yes, and that's really caused the stemming of the problem in the community. Sometimes you have guys competing or fighting with each other in the same community due to the same light. So,
you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I have spoken with a number of people who are involved in gangs. Gangs in these communities. There was a gang in Elizabeth. There was a gang in Camp Road. There was a gang in Montel Heights. How do you deal with these things? Do you have that problem with gangs in Camp Road? Sadly,
the majority of folks who joined the program were affiliated with gangs.
They were affiliated with gangs.
And slowly the program deteriorated to move them from focusing on gang banging. Sad to say, when we had put the program on hold, it was so effective that when we put it on hold, some of the kids slightly went astray, and some who were in junior high got pregnant, 1 or 2 are dead because they went back into gang banging, and they just died last year before last. Then you have some maybe who were incarcerated. When we had the program, they didn't have time for that. And so we see the positive on having programs like this in each area of our nation.
So this particular program involves a whole lot of people who were in gangs. They are no longer in gangs, you're saying.
Yes.
So the program has been effective in getting them to disabuse, not to attend these gang banging activities?
Yes. There's nothing to do in Nassau. So what
Nothing
else
to do in Nassau?
What else to do? Unemployment is high. People are hopeless. People in despair. A program like this come along, re-energize, encourage. I mean, there's no option other than this. What else is the other option moving forward? The churches slowly stop having evangelism on the streets, the majority of them. So programs like this is vital. We help clean up the streets. We face the streets. We are equipped to build from the streets a new Bahamas. And so anything moving forward, consultation if government needs advice in terms of anything in the country or the nation, the program like this is vital. We already have the hearts, mind, and soul of the people.
Mrs. Adley, you're from Camp Road. You know about these gangs. Camp Road Ministries with Reverend Ivan Butler has been doing a great job in Camp Road, I am told. So the churches were not effective in your area?
Well, I'll speaking from my point of view, I don't feel like the churches are being effective in the area. I know, like you mentioned, Campbell Ministry does a whole lot. They try their best, they do their best. But with the other churches, I hardly hear anything about the other churches. But I do say that humanity, I think that the young people in the community is really searching for love. I think that's the key of it, love. And it just happens that when they come to humanity and where we all are, where we house them, they find that love and they find out that, hey, it is more to life than just being on the streets. So when they come in there, we try to treat them with the utmost respect. That, hey, everybody in life deserves to have respect. So we find out that, hey, when they could come in community to me or Mr. Davis or Mr. Sanders, they don't find that they could go to their community with somebody else.
Where are the parents in all of this? You deal with parents?
Yes, we have an application form here where the parents must sign it and everything for them to be a part of the school.
So the parents are involved in these programs?
I wouldn't say they are involved in the program, but they know their children are there and they respectfully bring their children there.
But you don't get assistance from them?
No, sir.
So the problem then, Mr. Davis, it has to do with parenting. The extent to which parents are involved in the lives of their children, in helping them to be better socialized.
I think it's multifaceted because when the home would fail or the home, a lot of people might not have sense of direction which you might have brought up with. It's incumbent where society have mechanisms and entities in place to deal with such failing sectors of society. The government, the legislators, everyone has somewhere in the clause like a budget, the Ministry of Finance, where every member of parliament have $100,000 to $150,000 to deal with their constituency. So when you think of those aspects in the legislative and constitution, with every Bahamian have rights to inherit to the member of parliament, where the money going? Especially if programs like this exist. So as I question the parenting, and when we walk through the communities, we could see the struggles. We can really, this is why we exist, due to the struggles. So beyond the struggles, we need a balance.
What struggles are you talking about?
Struggle to stay alive. I watch families, we have kids who were a part of our programs. When they leave our office, they were sleeping in cars with their mother. These real challenges we see. I'm not asking you what I heard. We witnessed this. And this is why we see the importance of this. But beyond what the parents can do, because sometimes they can't help themselves, this this is time for the nation to help. I know I hear a lot of stories from you all who've been older than us who speak about a community raising a child. Where's that today in my generation time? Community isolate themselves from kids. They point and maybe criticize as long as not their children, but there's no rehabilitation, there's no giving back of itself. And I feel it's necessary upon all citizens of any country, any nation, to give back to society so we can leave a better generation, a better community, a better nation for those to come, the unborn.
That is what you're doing now. In my time, there was the Boys Brigade, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Guides, the Royal Ambassadors, many church groups.
For all those you mentioned.
There were the lodges and the community associations.
And they're not relevant today.
They're not relevant today.
They're not keeping up with the modern generation needs and concerns.
And so that is why you are filling the void.
Correct. But only so much we can do. And the mantle is heavy. And especially as a young individual, I'm supposed to be focused on myself, trying to better me, trying to maybe preserve my capital so I can have a better life for my family. I'm giving up myself. I'm turning my back from a salary. But yet still, when I look for nation support, it's finding that they're all alone. And they say young people are not serious. We're not into anything. I'm tired of hearing that.
No, but it's good that you're doing that, because there were other organizations many years ago who did the same thing. They had various sporting clubs, you know, the pioneer sporting clubs. There was a time way back you had St. Bernard's and St. George's and many organizations way back then. So what you're doing is commendable. It is fantastic, and I just love what you're doing, and you're bringing communities together. But this is not a new idea, because it happened many years ago in different ways. You see what I'm saying? Where I came from, you had the St. George's Sporting Club, where, well, Gus Cooper, you remember from the Valley Boys, he started the Pioneers Club. And then the Valley Boys as an organization. So he wasn't making any money from it. He was looking, at the time of his passing as leader of the Valley Boys, he was still trying to find donations to get his group to Bay Street. So we all have to come together and develop a sense of community so that the community can come together. Now you need some people to help you. And Mrs. Adley needs some people to help her. And Mr. Sanders. We all need people to help us. And hopefully from this program, we're able to get some people who would call you up and give you some assistance. Yes?
Yes.
Hopefully.
I find that the activities that you offer at your program are so nice for the children. You know, they make it very exciting. They have the driver's ed classes.
Driver's ed?
Driver's ed.
Okay.
So you know, I know my daughter is almost 17 and can't wait to start driver's ed. So that would be really appealing to students to want to go there and learn how to drive, you know, correctly. And then they have bike shows. And you know, that's very exciting and interesting for everybody. And then to learn a trade like sewing, they have sewing classes.
Yes.
You know, that's incredible.
Yes.
A lot of people want to learn how to sew and have no, you know, buy the machine even and have no instructions on how to do it, and that itself can make you a lot of money and give you a job to be able to do things. And so, and then the etiquette class.
You have etiquette classes as well?
They have etiquette class, yes.
Oh, very good.
So important, and the cooking. So it's really a nice place for young people to want to be. And then also with that respect that's given to the children, and then they're also taught again to respect their elders, and then how that community, how all of these communities are helping, and then the students really love to go out on weekends and help other people. That's what I really like, how it's a kind of a pay it forward event.
You're deeply involved in this, Bianca.
I'm deeply passionate
Yes.
about things like
about
this.
community, I know that.
That's right.
And
yeah.
that is why you bring these people here.
Yes.
But I'm just not amazed, but I'm delighted to hear that you know so much about the program.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Jones.
Yes. Let's take a break here. This is our program, the platform, and we are talking about the Humanity United Global Project. Wonderful organization. We'll come right back.